What up, fam? Welcome to Skill Tree, where we learn how to do just about everything. So today we're going to be hitting something I've wanted to do for a long time. We're going to get our ninja on and learn how to backflip. So everything has been time-stamped in the description, so you can choose your own adventure in this video. But I do, however, recommend that you watch it all the way through at least once. Especially if you want to attempt the skill, because it's one of those that can leave lasting physical damage if you do it wrong. With all that said, here are some disclaimers. As is the nature of this show and my scheduling, I learned this skill in the course of a week, so an expert, I am not. This video just shows you how I learned how to do it and any tips that I gleaned along the way. As I've been told many times throughout my life, you probably could use professional help. So if you have a professional in your area, definitely seek them out. At the very least, try to have another person present while you're trying it, so if something does go wrong, they can go get help or whatever. My flip buddy here, Oreo, had my back and watched me through the whole process. She made sure I was okay and taking enough breaks. Also, really make sure you take your time in learning this skill. I see a lot of videos and tutorials out there that are like, we'll have you backflipping in under 10 minutes. If they mean their video's under 10 minutes and they'll give you all of the instructions you need, then yeah, sure. This one might show you how to backflip in 10 minutes. But unless you already have an acrobatics background or you have mutant control over all of the muscles in your body, it's probably gonna take you a little bit longer than that to do this. But seriously, why rush it? Reduce the risk of getting hurt, have a better backflip in the end, just take your time, do it right. Because of that, I've decided to use the whole gamification principle, shameless link up here, to space this whole program out a little bit. So here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna show you a whole exercise regime, stretches and all, that are gonna lead you all the way up to backflip. Each one of those exercises and stretches are gonna count as a little mini goal by itself. By unlocking each of them, it's gonna make it much easier for you to attain the final goal of backflip. So with all that out of the way, let's unlock these skills. Step 1, stretching. So it's important when engaging in any athletic endeavor that you take the time to stretch yourself out. Doubly so when there's a real possibility that you're gonna land squarely on your head. Oh, and before you start stretching, make sure you do whatever your favorite warm-up exercise is. No need to be crazy here, just a few minutes worth of jumping jacks will be just fine. You just wanna get your muscles nice and warm before you start stretching them out. Next stretch. As alluded to before, it is totally possible that you will land on your head at some point, making a neck stretch absolutely crucial. Keeping your shoulders square, rotate your head so that you're looking to one side. Hold it for 5 seconds, then return to center. Now repeat that movement in the opposite side. Do both sides 3 to 5 times. Now, tilt your head towards one shoulder. So the goal here isn't to have your ear touch your shoulder, so don't strain your way through it. Hold this for 5 seconds, and then do the other side. Repeat this 3 to 5 times. Finally, while still keeping your shoulders square, bend the head forward and hold for 5 seconds. Then back for 5 seconds. Repeat all of these 3 to 5 times. Butt lifts. Because your hip flexors and abs play such a huge role in the whole backflip, we need to make sure those are nice and limber. And butt lifts just happen to be a really good stretch for that. Lying on the floor, place your hands to the side and your heels to the ground. Keeping your shoulders in contact with the ground, lift your pelvis in the air, making a straight line from shoulders to knee. Hold for 10 seconds, then release. Repeat this 3 times. So I did a dumb thing and at first omitted this stretch. I've never been more sore than trying to do the whole backflip thing without stretching here first. The act of lifting my leg up to put my shoe on was just excruciating. So you may feel self-conscious doing this exercise or whatever, but seriously, do yourself a favor and stretch out this area, cause damn. Reach for the sky. Our final stretch is just a good overall stretch hitting your legs, core, arms, shoulders, everything. To perform it, start standing straight with your feet close together. Interlock your fingers as if you're going to crack your knuckles. Keeping your back straight, lower down as far as you can, reaching for your toes. Hold it there for 5 seconds. Now stand back up, rotating the arms, maintaining that knuckle crack position, and reach for the sky. Repeat that 3 to 5 times. All right, now that you're all limbered up, it's time to get into the exercises. Back roll. Seeing as the backflip has you rolling backwards in midair, it's nice to get that movement down in a safer elevation. The floor. We're talking about doing it on the floor. You can think of the back roll as a backflip minus the danger, and arguably far less cool looking. It's far less cool looking. Start in the crouch position. Lean back, keeping your back rounded. Now, Tuck your legs, letting your momentum carry you up and over your shoulders. You're most likely going to favor one shoulder to roll over. That's fine, we just want to get the motion down. Finish by landing on your knees or back in the squatting position. Once you get this movement down, start to move it a little bit faster. Let your momentum really carry you over. See if you can land back in that squat position. Once you have it down perfect, repeat it 10 times. The tuck. So the thing that gives you the momentum in a backflip to actually turn around is you tucking your knees as fast as possible. To exercise this, lay flat on your back, legs straight, hands by your side. Now, swing your arms up over your head. Then, in one motion, bring your knees tight to your chest and grab onto them with your hands. Perform this as a quick 1-2 motion. So you're looking for this to be as explosive as possible. You want to feel like the momentum of you pulling your legs in carries your body up onto your shoulders. Do 3 sets of 10 of these with 30-second rests in between. The Macaco. So this little flip is super useful for getting you over the fear of going over backwards, as well as teaching your body to use your legs as momentum to whip you around quickly. Begin in a squat position and place one hand on the ground behind you and to the side. When just beginning this exercise, do this hand placement motion until comfortable with the movement. Then, when comfortable with that, continue the motion by turning yourself and walking the movement around until you're facing forward. Make sure though that one hand stays on the ground the whole time. Once you've got that down, try to replace the little steps with a jump to the side. As you progress, keep adding more leg swing, providing you with the momentum to reduce your hands' contact time with the floor. Eventually, as you add momentum and speed, this movement will carry you almost completely backwards. Once you have that down, do 3 sets of 5 with 30-second rests in between sets. Jumps. Alright, so your jump is really step 1 to any backflip. You need that height to give your body enough time to turn all the way around. Not getting enough height is when things time out wrong and you land on your dome piece. If you are deciding to try to do a backflip and you practice no other thing, just at least make sure you get your jumps nice and high. Start in a standing position. Now bend your knees about 90-degree angle and swing your arms back. Now swing your arms forward and up as you explode off the ground with your legs. Make sure to buy yourself those extra few inches of height by employing your calf muscles and jumping off from your toes. Hit yourself with 3 sets of 10 of these. Take note here, the momentum is straight up, not backwards. You'll see why when we get to the flip. Hell yeah, having done all these stretches and exercises, feel ready to tackle this thing. No, I did this regimen for the better part of a week before I felt like I was ready to give the whole flip a try. But you know what kind of shape you're in, so just take as long as you need to. So to actually perform the backflip, I'm going to take all of those exercises we just went over and cram them all together. Start by bending your legs at the 90-degree angle and swinging your arms back. Then bring your arms forward and up, performing the jump as we practiced. You may naturally want to arc backwards. Don't. This will rob you of height. Once at the apex of your jump, tuck your legs hard and hold onto your knees. The momentum of this movement will carry you over. Once you see the ground, start to open up and try to stick the landing. So see how all those exercises come together? Jump that we went over, the tuck that we went over, that backwards roll that both the backwards roll and the Macaco showed. Method to the madness, right? Makes sense. No, that's easy to say, and you might have the physicality of it all down, but there's one more hurdle you have to get over. Fear. Fear is far and away the biggest deterrent to being able to do this thing. Even having this big mattress in place and knowing it will protect me, I was super scared to go over. I'll make sure if you do decide to attempt a backflip that you do have a soft surface to work off of. Seriously, I'd have like a concussion and a broken shoulder if I hadn't. I went for it, let me tell you what. Time and time again, I freaked out as I was going over. But part of the key, and actually part of the nice thing about doing a video on it, is I could then watch that video and see what I was doing wrong. Then, probably the smartest thing I did through the whole thing, I took my time and stepped back, tried to remember the practice, and apply it. And slowly, all those exercises totally started to pay off. For example, realizing I was leaning back, I started doing the jumps like practiced. This extra height gave me enough time to get over onto my knees every time, and then the fear started to go away a little bit. That let me focus on bringing my knees in tighter, which brought me around a lot faster. All of these little tweaks leading up to... BAM! I did a backflip! I'm still proud of that. That's cool. And having done it once, the fear was gone and it became consistent. I got to a point where I can land that thing every single time. On the pad. And here's where it gets interesting and shows you exactly how much of this is mental. I'd been landing this flip consistently every single time on the pad. Now, that pad is like 9 inches thick, so logically, once I remove that pad, I have 9 extra inches to play with to get myself around. should have been easier. 9 inches easier. Nope. The fear of being without my safety net messed me up for a while. And then on the first time where I actually landed it without the pad, it was like a light switch went off, and then I just kept landing it. Once that fear went away, it's like, oh yeah, this is easy now. So this skill for me was interesting. It was way more psychological than it was practical. Like, I can't think of a situation where the only answer is, I'll backflip out of it. Unless you've magically found yourself in like an episode of Naruto. That'd be awesome, actually. But that being said, the real useful bit about it for me was how it demonstrated the limiting factors of fear. Like when I removed that pad, by all rights, it should have been easier. I knew I could do the movement at that point, as I had done it a bunch of times. Yet, it seemed way harder. Even getting myself to start, it was like I began all over again. So you had that little stutter step, and I had to count to 3 before I tried it. It's just totally different experience. Makes me wonder what else in my life that I could be trying or doing if some sort of fear wasn't holding me back from doing it. You know, are there things that I've tried before and maybe failed at, not because I wasn't good enough to do it, but because I was afraid to do it? Knowing that I have the skill sets and I am good enough to do a thing, but that fear is a real thing and it'll hold you back. And having all the right tools in place are super important, and taking your time to make sure you have that, but not using that as a crutch, because you can sit there and do these exercises for freaking ever, but never get over the hardest part, which is the fear to actually try a thing. Long story short, you don't need this skill. You have your own backflips in your life. A thing you really want to do and you really want to try because it would be awesome and it would make you feel good, but on some level you're too afraid to do it. Trust me though, you can do it. Learn what you need to learn, get yourself ready, but don't stall. Just do it, whatever it is. The only way to get over your fear is to actually try the thing out. So, try it out. I believe in you. You can do it. But before you go out and fight your dragons, how about you do me that solid and hit that thumbs up if you like what you saw, and hit subscribe so you know when I release new content. Also, if you have any skills you want me to cover, leave it in the comment section and I will add it to the list. Alright, but I better go. Now that I can do some sick flips, maybe the Foot Clan will finally let me in. In the meantime, keep leveling up, you.